Turned 32 on the day he won the European Open in Fulda last August.
That's Eklent who won the leg.
Okay, so the previous match we've just witnessed, both players struggled with the break. Let's see how these boys are going to get on. Kaci to open this match up. This is the side of the game where Albin really excels.
Push out called.
Good finger in these situations. Good kicker of the ball.
Extension, please.
Ouschan, world number 4, two-time world champion, the only player to have been in the World Championship final on 4 occasions. The Whirlpool Masters, not a tournament that's been great for him over the years. On to the semi-finals 6 years ago now, his best.
It's your choice, Eklent.
Kaci's just having a look at this shot because he'll either play it or give it back to Albin.
Please play again, Albin.
And you see he passes play back over, so Albin will have something in his mind, otherwise he wouldn't have rolled the cue ball there. Safety shot's gone wrong. Kaci was right to pass it back in this instance.
It's got to hurt a perfectionist like Ouschan when it goes wrong after he's effectively put himself in that position with the push-out call.
False stroke.
Yeah, that's very unlike Albin Ouschan, that. I'm not saying it was an easy hit, but he was trying to go 3 rails there. He's going to look straight into the blue too. The other thing, he may have felt a little bit rushed, but he used his extension on the push out, so that didn't afford him enough time to maybe really line it up and think clearly about that shot.
You know both of these guys well. Carl, fair to say they've different approaches to the game and their careers?
Yep, Albin Ouschan takes it, you know, sort of very serious in the sense of, you know, he looks after his diet and he goes training. They have training camps. He spends a lot of time running and on the bike. Puts a lot of practice in. Kaci's a bit more relaxed, but listen, it's each to their own at the end of the day. He still practices hard, does Kaci, but he's just more relaxed, really, just a different character. Don't underestimate Eklent Kaçi because he is more than capable of snapping off this tournament.
Well, that's it. As I was saying earlier, his best is really, really good. It's been the story for him a number of times. He's produced his best and then gone out the next day and been a shadow of himself. And saw that US Open last year when he had that incredible 10-1 win over Joshua Filler, and then was out of sorts really in his next match against Ko Ping Chung and was knocked out.
This will settle him down. I know that sounds crazy, but that was not an easy shot. He had to stun the cue ball up into that little area, and he's landed absolutely perfect.
And with that, Eklent Kaçi takes the opening rack. 9 is the target for a place in the quarterfinals. Victor Zielinski reached that target just a short time ago, beat Zheng Zhaohui by 9 racks to 6. And afterwards, we heard what he thought about it all.
Victor, first match, always quite difficult, but you came through in the end.
Yeah, I was happy that I was able to manage to pull off the trigger and shoot the last 9-ball. But yeah, it was a tough match, you know. I missed like 2 big chances to go, I think, 6-3 up and then 7-4 up. And I started struggling a bit. But, you know, it's tough to make the balls on this table. It's really tough, which is good. So it's tough to be confident in the whole match. But my safety game was quite good, and also the break, a bit of, like, not maybe the best one.
Yeah, I was going to say that you need to sort out the break going forward in your next match because it didn't really work that well, did it?
Yeah, I think like my first 3 breaks were awesome, and then like I started like overcutting like the 1-ball, and I didn't know what to change, but somehow I was like lucky that his break also wasn't that good. Yeah, and I'm just happy that I won that match.
And lots of foul shots made a big difference. He committed 6 fouls, and in the end that cost him dear.
Oh yeah, you know, there was a lot of safety play in that game because we got a lot of dry breaks, so that means there's always like some kind of safety game, causes some kind of falls. But yeah, I'm just happy that I won, as I said.
You're having a great year though. You've won in Ljubljana recently and you're clearly full of confidence, so maybe the debut you're going to make in the Whirlpool Masters will be a winning one.
Oh yeah, hopefully, hopefully I will do finally good in the Matchroom arena, because like it's the only missing thing, I think, like good results on the Matchroom stage. The rest is really good for me.
All the best going forward.
The flag for Poland. Victor Zielinski there talking to Phil Yates after his win over Zheng Zhaohui. And Zielinski will now play James Aranis in the quarterfinals after the player from the Philippines stunned the world champion Francisco Sanchez Ruiz a little earlier in the day by 9 racks to 7. Back here, Kaci had a dry break in the first rack, not so in the second. Could be off and running here once again.
Good to hear from Zielinski there, Michael. I thought he spoke very well. I thought he'd give fantastic assessment of his performance, and that tells me he's a very knowledgeable young man. He knows where he feels like he needs to improve.
Yeah, it might sound like a bit of a cliche, but he's always come across to me as someone very level-headed, particularly for someone of his age. He was one of the flag bearers really for the big Polish contingent when they hosted the World Championship earlier in the year, and overall it didn't turn out to be the week that the home players had hoped for. I think if you're looking at the current batch of Polish players and wondering which of them is going to be the most likely to break through and win an event of this stature, he'd be at the top of pretty much everyone's list. Back here, this could be a much shorter rack than the first. Took a while for things to get going in rack 1. But a clean kill here. Eklent Kaçi is into a 2-0 lead.
Ideal start for Kaci this. Obviously still early days. Albin's been in this position many times.
One thing we know is we're going to have a European finalist in the top half of the draw, because Mohamed Soufi was the only non-European player in the top half. That is the half of the draw that contains these two players. Every time you see that, you still can't quite believe it. Age only 24. Semi-finalist in this tournament a couple of years ago. It was a rack away from the final, beaten 7-6 by Alexander Kazakis, who then went on to beat Shane Van Boning 9-0 in that extraordinary final. But prior to that, Kaci had knocked out Petri Mäkinen, Naoyuki Oi and Niels Feyen to reach the last 4. Albin Ouschan, as we've said, number 4 in the rankings, which is where he started the year.
Leading the match by 2 racks to 0.
And winner of the World Championship on 2 occasions, almost added a 3rd, but was beaten by Shane Van Boning in the final in Milton Keynes 13 months ago. 2-0 here.
Foul stroke.
Well, the one thing I've noticed here is, I know he scratched there, but take that aside for a second. It's glad to see one of the pool players breaking at full speed, Michael. We're seeing the players take a little bit off it, and I think moving forward, this would be a smart move, because the break is proving very difficult to make balls. And I think when we finally get to see SVB, that's how he breaks. So I think Kaci's playing a smart play here, even though he scratched then.
Yeah, Van Boning in action later tonight against David O'Cady, a clash of past winners of this title. And I think that's borne out, Carl, by the fact that we've seen in recent tournaments a number of players being warned over the break, and then when they switch it up after that, they always break better and play better.
Yeah, we have a bit of an unwritten rule, don't we, about the soft break and the hard break, but it is so hard for the referees to determine that. It really is. And you know, when we've actually seen it with Niels' match against Joshua Filler, the opening match of this Masters, and Niels got warned and he felt like it was a bit hard done by, but it is very difficult from a referee's perspective. You know, how hard is a hard break? It's so tough, but what we mean is we can see the difference there with the way Eklent Kaçi's breaking. He's going full speed. No one else has done that yet in this event.
Fairly routine stuff this for Ouschan. Talked about the different approaches of the two players to their careers in terms of preparation, but when they're out there in the arena, Ouschan carries on that intense way of thinking, puts every last drop into it. Kaci, as you were saying, much more laid back. So Kaci leading 2-0, scratched from the break. And fairly straightforward from there for Albin Ouschan to open his account. He now trails by 2-1 in this first round match.
Yeah, made the one ball, didn't he, in the side? We can all see that. Did look like he wasn't going to have a shot on the blue too, but that little bump near the end has meant at least Albin can pot this ball. Not easy.
That's the thing, isn't it? You have to wait for every single ball to come to rest before you can make any assessment at all, because the slightest nudge can change the layout entirely.
Right in the centre of the pocket. Lovely shot. This is what 9-ball pool is. This is what being a pool player is. You're faced with that type of shot. Albin gets down, strokes it in. And now he's still got a bit of work to do because the purple 5-ball, he's sort of tied up. So he's going to need an angle off this next shot. Needs an angle. Yeah, he had a quick look up in the sky because he felt like he wasn't going to get the angle he wanted, and he's not got the angle he wanted. There's a possible purple 5-7 combination shot available. What he's concerned about here is he can get the cue ball back to where he's just pointing his cue, but he would love to get the cue ball in the centre of the table. So he's got two options here. Do you just pull it back and risk leaving it, or does he try and rip it right the way back off the top rail as well? Bit of an exhibition shot. Is this one? No, he took the first option. He just guaranteed himself the pot and left the cue ball there. Didn't want to do too much work, which is fine. Nicely done again. Controlled the purple 5 as well.
Yeah, it always seemed more likely than not that if that shot worked out, he'd have a straight run to the line, and that's exactly how it's turned out. So should be 2-2 in a few moments.
Yeah, the previous match between Zielinski and Zeng, both still at the early stages of getting used to this type of setup, but what we're seeing now is a player who's pretty much done it all in the game of 9-ball.
So from 2-0 down, Ouschan level at 2-all. And let's hear from the two-time world champion from Austria.
I think my form is quite high, maybe not like the previous 1 or 2 years, but I'm coming there. You cannot be always on top of your game all the time, but I'm trying to get there again and hopefully be #1. Well, Eklent is a beast, you know, super motivated, incredible shot maker. It's a really tough opening match because he just won a big tournament a couple of months ago, so he's in a good shape. But still, I will try everything, of course, to beat him and move on. In Nineball, you never know what's coming. I mean, maybe this is my tournament, maybe I'm not losing the first round. But when the pressure kicks in and some people are watching, it's always tough to compete with the best. But that's what makes you the best.
Yeah, the World Championship, as we've been saying, has very much been his domain in recent times, but his record in the other two big standout historic events in the game, this and the US Open, surprisingly poor, really, I would have to say, for a player of his standard. Looking to correct it in the World Masters this week, early stages of his first round match, and he's back on level terms at 2-all as he breaks.
Foul stroke. Ball in hand.
Stun the cue ball off the side rail straight into the side pocket. That will hurt.
And please start the clock.
This also happens a little bit like where we've seen a few of the golden breaks where the cue ball comes off this side back into the 9. This is another scenario that will happen in a pool tournament. Kaci's a little bit indecisive here with what shot to play with his ball in hand.
Very disappointing year for him, 2022, in the big matchroom events. Did get to that US Open quarterfinal, as I was saying, but he's often going out early in the other events. It's a bit unfortunate at the European Open. He actually played really well in his last 64 match, but he was up against Joshua Filler. Wonderful contest, one of the best you could ever hope to see at such an early stage of an event. And Filler edged him 9-8. Lost his opening match in this event last year, only got to the last 64 of the World Championship. Finished last in the Premier League. Of course, all that contributed to him seeing the end of his run of successive appearances in the Mosconi Cup. First played in it at the age of 19 in 2018. And last year was the first time he had missed out on the European side since making that debut.
Yeah, that's okay. Nice little angle here. Can't really fail to get on the 9-ball. Probably go 2 rails.
So just like in rack 3, a scratch break proves to be key. In this instance, it's worked in Kaci's favour. So he swiftly regains the lead at 3 racks to 2. Let's get the thoughts of the Albanian.
It's a privilege, it's an honor to play in the World Pool Masters. I've been playing for a couple of years in a row and it's nice to be back. I finished 3rd 2 years in a row. I lost to Alexander Kazakis in the semis and David Alcaide in the semis. They both win the tournament, so looks like it was their tournament. I'm playing pretty good, feeling very confident. I won the World Championship in Las Vegas 2-3 months ago and ready to play. Albin is a great player, has won many world titles, been in pool world for many years, and I'm looking forward to have a great match against him. Step by step, gotta win this match, then the other one. Of course, I'm thinking about the trophy, but you gotta take it one by one.
Where would you say he's at in his career right now, Carl?
I think he's in a very good place. I think, you know, he's won a lot of the pool tournaments, all different disciplines as well, and I think, you know, the pool players who play against him know what he's capable of. Maybe just
It's rack 6.
he just lacks that
Eklent Kaçi is leading the match by 3 racks to 2, and he will break.
Event. A little bit like Jason Shaw, very similar. They've both won pool tournaments, but they've not quite done it in this arena yet. Obviously, Shaw's gone out. Kaci's still in the event, and Kaci's had good times in this event. He's been to back-to-back semi-finals, as he said, but the semi-final he lost against Kazakis when Kazakis won it that year. He missed a big trick there. He could have beat Kazakis in that match. Breaking good as well, isn't he? You can see a lot more power. I believe that's the break the players should be playing, but you know, pool players, funny characters. They try and get what they can out the break shot. But I believe the power break in pool is always going to serve you better moving forward.
Well, look how important it was to Van Bonen last year when he won the World Championship. That really was the bedrock of it.
Yeah, Kaci's also changed his game quite a lot. He used to stay down on the queue, so from like what he's doing now, he used to stay down very long.
That may come perhaps from the fact that I know he's an accomplished snooker player, and that would be more the way of doing things in that game.
Yeah, maybe so. But he's definitely changed it over the last few years. You can see there, he still stays down quite long. There's nothing wrong with that, just pointed it out. But he's definitely sped his game up somewhat.
Well, we heard him use the words 1 by 1 at the end of that interview segment there. So far, this match has been going 2 by 2. Won the first couple of racks, then lost 2 in a row after that. But since his opponent scratched off the break at the start of rack 5, it's once again 2 in a row for Kaci. He's going along very nicely here. He leads Albin Ouschan by 4 racks to 2. For the second time in this match, Eklent Kaçi is a couple of racks clear of Albin Ouschan, his now former Mosconi Cup teammate. 4-2 to the Albanian. He's already halfway, almost, to his target.
Sticking by his guns, going full pelt on the break. Yep, a little bit unlucky. The one ball's actually at both points of the middle pocket, then the 8 at the other middle pocket point.
Extension called.
We can cut this ball in, but it's how do you get on the blue too? May have to take a risk of trying to bump the 6 or the 9. He's actually done as well as he could there, really. He might have to go off the rail now. Rail first, yeah. He would have known that could have happened. He actually played a neat shot there, so now he's got to go off the rail. Still a big favourite to pot this 2 in the corner, though. Does have to watch the cue ball. It may track towards the top right-hand corner. Close. You could see the intention that he was trying.
Yeah, concerning times these for Ouschan. 4-2 is a very manageable position to be in, but it's at that sort of situation. We're far enough into the match now that if the lead gets any bigger, real concern then. Kaci, we know what he's like. When he gets a bit of momentum behind him, he can streak away. Mentioned earlier that 10-1 win over Filler at the US Open. Very much looking forward to the 2 weeks in Spain coming up at the end of next month, the Spanish Open and then the World Cup of Pool. Kaci will be there. Been confirmed as one member of the Albanian team again, which is probably the least surprising announcement you'll hear all year, but he'll be there with Bezar Spahiu as his opponent, as his partner rather. He teamed up last year to beat Italy in the first round. It was only the second time Albania had won a match at the World Cup of Pool. Although they did go out in round 2, it was to the eventual winner, Spain.
Yeah, it's a unique tournament, the World Cup of Pool. The fact that you're playing with your partner and you have a shot each. There's always drama and tension in that tournament.
Yeah, and I think what's great about it is it really underlines one of the great strengths of pool, just how global it is. Prime example of that, you saw Slovakia going in a couple of years ago as the least fancy team in the whole thing and trounced Austria, the holders, in round 1. So we got 2 clear earlier in the match. And despite a dry break here, he's now gone 3 ahead for the first time. Kaci looking very dangerous here to Albin Ouschan. He leads now 5-2. This is just part of the rich history of this tournament. It goes all the way back to 1993. You can see Ralph Souquet there in 2011. That was the last of his record 6 wins in this event. Niels Feijen there, as you can see, has got a great record. We'll be seeing him again tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Shane Van Boening there in 2014 and 15. Remarkably, the only player in the event's history to win it back-to-back. David O'Cady won 2 out of 3. Alexander Kazakis with that win a couple of years ago. He stunned SVB in the final, and then Joshua Filler, the winner last year, but gone from this year's tournament after defeat in the opening match yesterday against Niels Feijen.
The 8th rec, Eklent Kaçi to break, leading by
After today's action, Kaci looking to press home this advantage he's built. 5-2 as he breaks.
Yeah, you can see the big difference here. The power is complete chalk and cheese from the other players, Michael, isn't it? This is how the players should be breaking. The one ball flies in the pocket. This is very SVB-like. This is how Shane likes to break. The other players are playing a bit more of a softer draw shot and trying to squeeze the one in.
But as someone who's been a top player yourself, Carl, you'll know the answer to this. Is every player capable of breaking like that?
Yeah, every player in this field, this particular field, you know, the 16 players, without a doubt, but I don't know. I mean, you know, a lot of the players, they watch and they copy the other players' breaks. So the fact that the break's been a bit hit and miss, you know, I firmly believe tonight when we see SVB playing, he'll be breaking this way. So maybe the other players who are still in, they'll start to watch and think, oh, maybe this is the way to go.
Well, you've got to say nice things about him because he's sitting right beside you, watching the action.
Yeah, Shane's just sat here and he's fully dressed, ready to play his match, and he doesn't play till tonight.
Yeah, that'll be the last match of the round. One to look forward to against David Al-Kaidi for the right to face Ko Pin-Yi in the quarters.
Looking good here, Kaci. He's looking very good indeed. Oh, he's looking good as well, actually. Yeah, good timing. Not Shane, me, of course. SVB sweating the action, sussing out the break.
And Kaci is looking good, and not only that, he's getting noticeably better as the match goes on.
Yeah, I wonder if Shane is sat watching and, you know, around the arena, there's massive posters of the players, and once a player exits, the poster turns red, and I can see in the distance Phil has gone red, Sanchez has gone red, Jason Shaw gone red. Some big players, Michael, gone in the opening round. Been a good performance this in the opening 8 racks from Kaci. He knew he had a match on his hand, but he stuck to his guns. He's played his own game. The power break so far has been working well.
Yeah, overall, you can't argue with it. This is going to be his 3rd run out from the break.
Extension,
Yep. Extension, please.
Albin's got a lot of work to do now in this match. As you said before, Michael, this is turning into dangerous time of the match now, this.
Out it comes again, and having been pegged back to 2-all, Kaci has now won 4 on the spin. He leads Albin Ouschan by 6 racks to 2. So much still to look forward to in this first round. A couple more matches to come. Mario He and Alexander Kazakis, who, as I said, won this title a couple of years ago. And the winner of that will play the winner of the match we're watching right now. And then a match that has the look of holding the potential to be the standout tie of this first round. Shane Van Boening against David Al-Kaidi. Both multiple winners of this World Pool Masters title. Shane Van Boening finally became world 9-ball champion for the first time just over a year ago. So that's what we've got coming up on the menu this evening. And there is the aforementioned Shane Van Boening. It's one of those players who you feel the event has really started when you see him enter the fray. There is Alex Kazakis there, former winner of the title. Mario He on the other table. One of 3 Austrians in the field. One of those already through, Max Lechner. The other one in real danger here, Albin Ouschan, trailing by 6 racks to 2.
The 9th rack. Eklent
And
Kaçi
again,
to break.
only look on as Kaci looks to
Leading by
bring
6 breaks to 2.
his powerful, forceful break into play once again.
Yep, it's just completely different. This is the break. Pool players, this is the break. The power break is what Nineball is about. And Kaci is doing it to perfection.
So why then, Carl, would players choose not to break like that?
I think just because there's two ways to this break. There's one that's a hair softer, and you have to draw the cue ball off the one ball. That makes the one in the side. Sanchez has been doing that, and obviously because of the success he's had, other players are trying to adapt that. Shane always breaks like Kaci breaks, and maybe personal preference, but I think consistency wise, I suppose you've just got to do what you feel suits you. Two for one. Didn't want it to go in because now he's faced with this.
Yeah, that stops over the pocket, that 3 ball, and it's
Extension,
pretty
please.
much rack over.
Can he still cut this ball in? Difficult to see from this angle. Played the bank and he's missed it by an absolute mile.
So what's he got here?
Yeah, I don't think Albin's got the bank, has he?
No.
He's brought his jump cue round with him because he could maybe jump over and then play a jump bank
Extension,
shot.
please.
Failing that, he's going to have to go around the back of it and kick it one rail. But obviously he's going to look at where he can kick it to for a kick safe. Well, he's got his playing cue in his hand, so I think he's swerving to go. He might be trying to swerve into it, get the cue ball back over towards the 5. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's what he did. He could actually see a piece of that ball, so it was okay. All he's done there is just get distance, bide a bit of time. Kaci may play this ball off the edge of the 7. And then bring the 4 back out into a similar position, just centre of the top table and get distance. He's played it into the pocket. That was what he played.
Surprising to see that stat there. Ouschan must be feeling he's not really got involved in this match yet. Did win those couple of racks in a row, but other than that, it's been a deeply frustrating experience for him. But what's happened there?
Yeah, he had to play in the top corner to get position on the 7, and it was not easy. That was a lot thinner than that looks. Purely because of the power people don't realise, if you've never played Nineball, when you play it for the first time, you can't believe how big the pool ball actually is. You know, the tip diameter that the players are using are anywhere from 11.5 all the way up to 13.5. Oh, nicely done. What a shot that is when you're 6-2 down, by the way. Is this the... Sorry, Michael.
Just going to say, it looks as though Kaci's been stopped in his tracks, had the chance to make it 5 racks in a row and get within 2 of victory. Is this the start of a turnaround from Ouschan? He closes to 6-3. So will the 9th rack prove to be the most significant of the match? Eklent Kaçi had a chance to make it 5 in a row and lead 7-2. Ran out of ideal position. Ouschan had work to do, but he did it well, and he's closed to 6-3.
Yeah, the difference with the 2 breaks there is Albin's just putting a bit of draw on the cue ball, so he's not going maximum speed. He's breaking hard enough. It's just a different type of hit. You can see the cue ball is a bit more draw, but there's definitely more power in this match on the break off. And look at what he's left with. He's left with pretty decent opportunity here.
Yeah, just because something looks like a turning point, it doesn't mean it's going to be. But the early signs here are good as Ouschan looks to build on winning rack 9. He too will be at the World Cup of Pool in Spain in a few weeks' time. Was paired with Max Lechner last year, but Mario He, with whom he's won the tournament for Austria twice, will be his partner this year. They've got a lot to improve on. They've won a total of 2 racks, Austria, in the last 2 stagings of the World Cup. Saying earlier that Kaci was so nearly in the final of this event a couple of years ago. The same could be said for Ouschan when he had his big run back in 2017. Beat Mika Immonen, Mayuki Oi to get to the last 4 and was only beaten 8-6 by David O'Cady, who went on to win the title.
Nicely done there, perfect on this 8 ball. 6-2 down he was when Kaci missed that 5 ball up into the top right corner. And he's just a couple of balls away to close the gap.
Second break and run of the match for Albin Ouschan. After only 2 behind, as you say, at 6 racks to 4 in this World Masters, the first of 2 big events in the London area in the space of a few weeks. Because quite soon, we'll be at the Copper Box. Joshua Filler will be there to defend his title down in the Olympic area.
Trailing 6-4.
Wonderful week last year for the inaugural staging. Such a great buzz around the event, and the crowds built nicely as it went on. Let's hope for more of the same in just a few weeks' time. Back to the present day. Ouschan, 6-4 down. Oh, watch the 9. Another golden break. And Albin Ouschan continues his recovery in very swift fashion in rack 11. And all of a sudden, he's only one behind. It's 6-5. We're seeing quite a few of these, Carl, but I don't think there's any particular reason for it other than the quality of players we've got here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just down to the break. Obviously, they're playing a hard cut break. There's always a chance. But there's always a chance in any break format when you play 9 ball. You know, we've seen them time and time again. We never know when they're going to come, but they always seem to come at the right time. Albin Ouschan was 6-2 down. This golden here gets him just one behind.
And I think that's 7 golden breaks we've had now in this tournament. We had 4 of them in one match last night, 3 of them for one player, Max Lechner. That might be the first one we've seen in the side pocket, though, Carl. I don't know if any of the others have gone in the side. I know the 4 in one match were all in corner pockets.
Yeah, I think you may be right there, Michael, but when you look at the replay there, you can just see how thin the cue ball actually had to hit the ball to knock it in the middle. I mean, that's just something you're never going to perfect, or you can never count for. It's just part and parcel of the game, the golden break. And what it does do, Michael, is it seems to crank up the tension in a match, doesn't it? That's what it does.
Well, you think Kaci was closing in on 7-2 when he missed that 5 ball, and it's been frozen out ever since. It's anyone's match now.
Yeah, and it's one of them things when you sat in your chair and it's happened against you. You're fuming, but when it's you that's broke off, you're always smiling, aren't you? Both these players have seen it all, though. They've had golden breaks at the right time. They've had golden breaks against them at the wrong time. But all that matters is the scoreline. 6-5 Kaci. Albin at the table. Couple of options here. He's gone full blood for the bank and he's made it.
Well, we've had 2 fairly close matches already on this second day in Brentwood. This wasn't looking like being another.
Extension,
but odds on now that in the space of probably only about 15-20 minutes, Ouschan is going to complete his recovery from 4 behind to level pegging.
Just got a shot to judge here now because he's not quite come out far enough. So obviously he's going to be bumping into the brown 7. If you can just play a little stun shot and hit the 7 full, that's okay. Just all depends on where the cue ball is going to contact that brown number 7. Well done. Didn't have a lot of time left there either, did he? The 5 ball Albin knocked in Michael at 6-2. You know, you look back and you take that for granted. Everything else that has gone on to get back to 6-6, whatever, but that was a real nice pot he made, Albin, to stay in this match.
Well, he misses that. It probably goes 7-2. Kaci would obviously have the break in the next rack, and we've seen how well he's been breaking today, so if he does win, I think we'll definitely be looking back on that as by far the most significant shot of the whole contest. Soufi in the background there, who knocked Ouschan out of the World Championship this year. And Ouschan showing great determination not to be knocked out prematurely in this event. 4 in a row. It's now 6-all. 2 for Kaci, 2 for Ouschan, 4 for Kaci, 4 for Ouschan. And all adds up to 6-all. And effectively a race to 3 from here for a place in the quarterfinals. Somebody's face is going to turn red in the next few minutes.
Thank you, the 13th rack. Albin Ouschan the break, 6 racks each.
That's what happens in those pictures around the arena once you're knocked out of the tournament. Still very hard to say who it's going to be.
Yeah, good break, but you could see how close the cue ball was going to contact the 9 again. This time, no shot for Albin. Look how close the cue ball was there coming off that first rail.
I love the idea, by the way, of the players' faces being lit up red once they're out of the tournament. It's like some sort of murder mystery program, or the kids' game Guess Who.
Yep, he's a gunner.
He's still here for now. There's Mohammed Soufi. Well, he's sitting in the crowd now. He's been watching all day, you know.
Called.
He's actually been practicing and all. I walked past the practice room before and he was hitting balls.
Well, it must be the only time he's not been sitting in the arena, because every time I've looked over there, he's been sitting in his chair.
So push out called. This is where Albin rolls the cue ball to.
So this is the first time we've seen Kaci at the table since he missed that 5 ball at 6-2 in front.
Didn't hit this one right, did he? Didn't hit this one right at all. It was a dangerous shot to take on, just because it didn't really look like you could get a good 2 ball.
Extension, please.
It's a big shot coming up, though.
Yeah, this still needs potting.
Yeah, you think these are easy, don't you, when you just sat here watching your screens, but when Albin bears down on this one, the fact that the cue ball is near the rail and there's this distance, it won't seem easy to him, but he's knocked a big shot like this in so far in this match at 6-2 down. Needs another good one.
Yeah, that's 2 absolute crackers he's pulled out under pressure now during this turnaround. So having not got to the table at all in any of the 3 racks leading up to this, Eklent Kaçi did have a chance to influence matters in rack 13, but played a poor shot. Opened the door for Ouschan, and with the momentum he's got behind him now, you always fancied the rack was going to end this way from there. This has been an example of Ouschan at his clinical best. And finally, for the first time in the match, Albin Ouschan leads. He's now won 5 racks in a row. He needs 2 more for a place in the last 8. He's so tenacious, isn't he? We see him do this so often with all the success he's had over the last few years, matches that aren't going his way. He's so good at keeping his composure, still being able to produce his best and turn it round.
Yeah, it seems easy winning matches when everything's going your way and, you know, you've got a big lead. A lot of players, you know, we do see them, don't we, where they relax and then they go on and sort of steamroll the win and get over the line. Well, as you said, Michael, Albin Ouschan will never give up, and the fact that he's, you know, at 6-2 down, he's stepped up and he's had to knock a good long pot in to stay in the match, and he's turned this match around and he's looking very good indeed. Now the pressure is on Kaci.
Albin Ouschan is leading the match by 7 breaks to 6, and will break.
No ball. No ball. Can Kaci get through to the 1 ball? This all adds up to the drama, doesn't it? Kaci's back out of his chair. Can he see the potting angle? I would say he can't from that angle. Yeah, he can't, can he? He's going to have to swerve it round if he attacks it.
Not seen many breaks come up dry in this match. Kaci's was in the opening rack. Well, I think he has had another one since then.
Yeah, nicely done. Decided he'd take the gamble and just pot the ball. Felt like he was going to have a shot on the 2 in the side. What shot has he got, though?
Just as Ouschan's pot on the 5 ball in the 9th rack was the start of a big turnaround from him. So Kaci will hope that that good pot on the 1 has a similar impact from his point of view.
Maybe ask for extension, please. Thank you.
Hasn't made much impact on the Matchroom events so far in 2023. Went out early at the World Championship in Poland, beaten in the last 64, and he wasn't in the Premier League, in which he'd finished last in a field of 16 the previous year. can argue about things like drama and significance of the result, Carl, but for me, in terms of pure entertainment, this has been the match of the tournament so far.
Yeah, it's been a little bit like the Ruiz-Aranas match, hasn't it? That was also a very good match. It's been high quality, this one. Very few mistakes from both players.
Yeah, the other match you were talking about from earlier today, both looked very nervy. FSR, arguably even more so.
Where's the cue ball going here? Where's the cue ball going here? He wasn't playing for the middle. But it is going to be the middle. He's going to shoot this ball in. He was actually playing for the bottom left corner. So it's this 9-ball.
Feels like a long time since Eklent Kaçi won a rack in this match, but he's won this one, and they're level again at 7-all. Both these players looking to win the World Pool Masters for the first time. A reminder there of some of the players who've done so in the past. Seems to be a tournament that throws up multiple winners. You can see a few there. Niels Fyen, David Al-Kadi, Shane Van Bonen, who Al-Kadi will be playing tonight. And Ralph Souquet's name only appears once on that list, but that was the last of his 6 titles. Joshua Filler, the champion last year. He won't be retaining it. Great years in Gibraltar, but it's a new era for the tournament now, and great to be in Brentwood, venue with such Q Sports history, going back 35 years to the World Match Play Snooker that was played here in 1988. The first snooker event to offer a £100,000 first prize. We had the English Open snooker here back in December. Mark Selby beat Luca Bracel in the final. Of course, they've just met in the World Final last week. And of course, Pool was here last year for the World Cup.
The 15th rack, Eklent Kaçi to break. 7 racks each.
So we are going to get our 3rd close finish out of 3 so far on this second day. Great entertainment here. Surely more to come as Kaçi breaks at 7-all.
Sticking to his guns with the power break, and that is a prime example of what can happen. You've got more chance of making another ball on the table. It's actually incredible how that one ended up in that pocket.
Yeah, got kicked by the 2, but still had the length of the table to travel.
Yep, no pot on the 2, of course, but he can play off the edge. That extreme left edge. All he's doing here is he's just making sure he knows where to hit on that 2 so it doesn't creep away from the rail. And then he'll try and find some sort of cover down the bottom end of the table, the 9 and the 6 ball there. Probably be the 9. Maybe the 6, it depends how much he might be able to swing this round off 3-4 rails. No, he's playing behind the 9, yeah, just the 2 rails. Needs it to slow down. Yeah, he's just left a piece of it. Never easy though to get the full ball hook in that instance, so distance is always key. Distance has proved to be Kaci's friend, because Albin's made a mess of this one. This is a chance. Having a quick glance around the table, that brown 7 ball is going to be the big ball in this rack, isn't it? You can see it doesn't look like it goes up in the corner pocket where the pink 4 is sat. 6 ball is sat in a nice place to break them out. You could also try and land him behind it, but that is going to be the key cluster. Does have an angle now, but he would be very brave to go over and move the balls down. Yeah, that's why he's not done it. A lot of players, a lot of amateur players may have risked it then, but that wasn't the time to do it. Now's the time to do it. Got to be careful though. If he plays to go into the 8 and it's the right hand side of the 8, speed is going to be key, because he doesn't want the 8 to bounce back off and hook him on the 7. Will he risk going in the middle of them both? He's played a soft little bum ball. He's played it lovely.
Yeah, lovely touch, and it looks as though he's going to lead once again for the first time since it was 6-5.
Yeah, it was the speed he played the previous shot, which is going to help him win this rack, and it's the rack that's going to get him on the hill. We're yet to have a hill-hill match. Is this the one?
It isn't that long a time since he was 6-2 in front, but it sure feels like it. From that position, he lost 5 in a row to go behind for the first time in the match. Ouschan was the firm favourite then. But Kaci has responded so well. He's won 2 in a row, and he'll be breaking on the hill in a moment at 8-7. The hill, and of course, in the winner breaks format, that means you get to break for the match.
Yeah, this is very good from Kaci. Really impressive on the break. It's nasty though. Doesn't have a great deal here, does he? Doesn't pot. Needs the cue ball to keep going, and he has. Yep, he's got the safety. Albin will definitely hit this 2 ball, but it's all about getting it safe. Also, after contact, you must strike a rail. Any ball on the table, that is.
Extension called.
Okay, Kaci's got a small chance here. He can play the 2 onto the 6. Will the cue ball move away from the 9 to keep? Yeah, there you see the blue 2 onto the green 6.
Extension, please. Extension, please.
He's there, Michael. He's there. This is now a chance for the match, this.
One of the best matches we saw on any of these Matchroom events in 2022 was at the European Open when Kaci met Joshua Filler as early as the last 64, and it was very similar to this. Wonderful standard, great entertainment, and he ended up losing 9-8. Must have been coming away thinking, just how well do I have to play to win a match like this? I think he'd be left feeling the same way if he came out the wrong side against another of the very best in the world today. As you say, Carl, this is a chance to give himself a different outcome here in Brentwood today.
He's just a couple of shots away here now from securing the win here. He's took care of the red 3. Now we'll just float down table. It's hard to see where this goes wrong. If it is going to go wrong, it can simply be from the 8 to the 9.
And the ball he's lining up now is the one he missed to let Ouschan back into the match. From 2-all, he pulled away to 6-2. Had the chance to go further clear, missed the 5. Ouschan pulled out a great pot to start the turnaround. And when the Austrian led 7-6, he looked the favourite all over. Been a match of streaks. 2 in a row for Kaci, same for Ouschan. 4 in a row for Kaci, then 5 on the spin from Ouschan. But for all the world now, it looks as though it's going to finish with 3 in a row for Eklent Kaçi. Although he's much too good a player for this to be regarded as a massive shock, it is going to be another match that goes against expectations. And Ouschan's disappointing history in this tournament is set to continue, whereas Kaci, if he can just take care of this one last task here and pot this 9, will be through to a quarter-final, potentially against another Austrian, Mario He, who plays Alexander Kazakis this evening.
Yeah, the cue ball's not ideal here, though. And we've liked it there. That gives you a better idea of the steep angle Kaci is faced with. This 9-ball for the match.
He's withstood the resistance, the fight back, the determination of Albin Ouschan. He lost 5 racks in a row from 6-2 in front, but he's come good in the finish. It's a very significant win for Eklent Kaçi. He takes the last 3 racks. He wins by 9-7, and he goes through to the quarterfinals of the World Masters here in Brentwood.